Welcome to North American Ag Spotlight. I'm Chrissy Wozniak. My guests today are from the American Royal, which has been a Kansas City tradition since 1899, offering nearly 500,000 youth and adults from around the world the opportunity to participate in high-quality events and experiences. These include nationally competitive livestock shows, the world's largest barbecue competition, regional and national equine shows, youth and professional rodeos, and educational outreach for elementary and secondary students. The American Royal Fall Livestock Show is one of the most prestigious in the country, drawing exhibitors from across the nation and beyond. This year's show will take place October 10th to 26th, and the registration deadline is fast approaching. From Kansas City, Missouri, I'd like to welcome back to Ag Spotlight Matt Durian, Livestock Manager at the American Royal, and Mae Boedeker, Livestock and Rodeo Coordinator. Welcome, Matt and Mae, and thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah, thank you for having us, Chrissy. It's always fun getting to sit down and chat with you a couple times a year. We always enjoy these talks and getting to be on the podcast with you.
Yeah, awesome. And this is an extra special year because for the first time, I'm actually going to be able to make it to the show. So I am very excited, not only just, for the livestock and the show itself, but also for the barbecue competition because I love barbecue. So I'm really excited. To start off, can you each introduce yourselves and how you first became involved with the American Royal?
Yeah. So my name is Matt Durian. I'm our livestock event manager here at the Royal. Been with the Royal for just over 3 years now. I grew up showing livestock all across the state of California. Finished college during 2020, so not a lot of things were happening out west. So applied for a job here, accepted the position, and that's kind of been the story ever since. I've fallen in love with the American Royal and our mission and vision and what we're trying to do. And like you had said so well in the introduction of, trying to influence food and agriculture and make an impact with the folks that are not only in the industry, but the ones that are outside and don't have a direct day-to-day part with ag and what we can do to educate them about what we do and why we do it.
Yeah, and I'm Mae Boedeker. I am the Livestock and Rodeo Coordinator here at the American Royal. I just hit 1 month of working here. I graduated in May from Oklahoma State University and kind of got my start in ag in FFA in high school. My older brother introduced me to showing livestock, and that's kind of what led me to major in animal science. I was here in the last fall, October, working for the market week as an intern. Really loved being just a part of getting to get the kids involved and learn about agriculture and see what they're passionate about. And so decided to come back. And so far it's been fun. And I'm excited and looking forward to this year's livestock show.
That's awesome. And the Fall Livestock Show, it has such a rich history. What makes it stand out as one of the premier livestock events in the country?
Yeah, like you said, it is a long-standing tradition here in Kansas City. It's been going on for 126 years. So last year we did celebrate our 125th anniversary. I think what really sets us apart and one thing that we strive every single day to do is to really be exhibitor friendly. A lot of our rules and guidelines that we have to have in place, we try to make them make sense to our exhibitors when they come on site, greeting them at the gate, working with them throughout every step of the process. And then, ultimately just trying to put on a great show for them that runs smoothly, that they can come have a good time, exhibit their livestock, get back on the road to home and look forward to 365 days later and doing it year in and year out.
Amazing. And I know the show really cherishes the heritage, but it also evolves over the years. So what new features or improvements or, just evolution of the show altogether can get exhibitors and attendees expect for 2025?
Yeah, I mean, the show is always growing. That's always a good thing. Things that are new this year were, we've added a Boer goat show. We used to have one a lot back 5-10 years ago, something that kind of just fell off our radar here at the American Royal, but we've been working with the Boer Goat Association on bringing that back. And we're always looking for growing breeds and adding different divisions in our show and just keeping the show progressive and moving forward. It's something we always strive if we can if associations and breeds want to add or different species, we're always interested and willing, and just something to kind of keep moving the American Royal forward in the right direction.
Yeah. And then this question I'll pose to both of you. Each of you can take a turn. What are you most excited about for this year's Fall Livestock Show? Are there any specific competitions, moments, or traditions that you're looking forward to the most?
I really like Junior Market Week. I feel like I thrive in a high-paced environment, and it's just so fun to get to see those kids kind of work really hard that week and see all their hard work pay off, and just the smiles on their faces and the camaraderie of just the community. It's a fun environment to be in and get to be a part of, and so I'm excited for that and just to see how the show will progress. And yeah.
Yeah, and on that same note, I mean, that Junior Market Week, we end with what we call our Royal Elite Drive, where we have all 4 of the major species showing at the same time in Hale Arena, under the bright lights and the American flags. And that's one of those events that if that doesn't get your blood pumping, you kind of need to go see a doctor or get something checked out, because it's pretty fun and cool. Another thing that I'm really excited for is our friends over at the American Hereford Association are actually hosting their World Hereford Conference this fall. So part of that will run in conjunction with our livestock show. So in talking with them, some of the different, countries that'll be attending and some of the different things that are going to get to do, being able to be kind of the host site for that and work with them is going to be really exciting.
Yeah, that's very exciting. And you said before, you mentioned about the kids' smiles, and that is such a huge part of it. I'm a former 4-H mom. My daughter has graduated out of 4-H, but that is really just seeing the pride in those kids and their hard work pay off is just incredible. And the show is not really just for competition; it's for education. So, how does the fall show help connect the public to agriculture and livestock production?
I was just gonna say it gets it just lets them see just kind of an inside view of just the livestock world, all these kids' hard work and just what it looks like to raise livestock. Yeah, I don't,
Yeah, I've always said, all these exhibitors, they really care and they're passionate about their animals. Like you said, as a former 4-H mom, and we all grew up showing, and now we get to be on the other side of things. But you take care of your animals most of the time before you take care of yourself. You'll feed them before you have breakfast, or their chores will take priority over yourself. And so when folks come down to the American Royal that aren't directly involved in agriculture, we always encourage them, like, go talk to exhibitors. They're so passionate about it, and they want to tell you about, if it's the breeding cattle and their breeders, they want to tell you about what they have in in their show string, or if it's during Junior Market Week, you can go talk to a 9-year-old and they'll tell you every single thing that they've done with that pig, and all the steps in raising them and taking care of them. And so just, it's really great to have that interaction between, sometimes the general public and our exhibitors who just care and love so much for these animals.
Yeah, amazing. And then from each of your perspective, what advice would you give exhibitors that are preparing now for the show?
oh, that's a good question. I feel like come ready, get a full night's rest, be ready to just take on the week head on. Yeah, make sure to just have everything you need, DNA packets entered, all that kind of stuff, and get ready, boarding passes, all that stuff.
I think she said it well. Come ready. I mean, yeah, it's a very what it was called a sprint, not a marathon. You move in, show a couple days later, move out. So there always is, low sleep nights, and everyone's kind of running on empty. But make sure to enjoy the moment too, and enjoy the show and the time you get with your friends and family and other exhibitors.
Yeah, good advice. It's easy to get lost in the busyness of it and the stress of the show, right? Another benefit that I learned when I was a kid showing mostly horses for myself, were the friendships and connections that were built at shows like this, and those friendships often last a lifetime. So, how have you guys seen those relationships impact participants year after year?
It's very fun to watch. We always call them camps. Essentially, it's folks that travel together from show to show, And when they get here, they may be from Oklahoma and California or Oregon and Texas, and they're all over the country. But when they come to the American Royal or any other livestock show, it's like they're seeing old friends and getting back together, and they like to be stalled with each other because, they'll do crock pot meals in the barn and they'll go to dinner at night. And it's just so fun watching, year after year, you can kind of start to learn of, who's this crew and who's in this camp, and watching them, bond and while you go, from last year to this year, and they stay together, and you get to watch the kids grow up, which is really fun and exciting.
Yeah, that is very cool. And for families and exhibitors traveling to Kansas City, what are some local attractions or experiences that they really need to check out while they're in town?
Yeah. So for fear of ostracizing any one group, I mean, Kansas City is the barbecue capital of the world. I know our friends down in Texas may not agree with that, but there are some phenomenal places to try, and that's always one thing I encourage folks to do. There's some really great restaurants all around Kansas City. If you have the time to get out and travel, always going and checking out. My favorite is, going to Arrowhead and seeing, the different stadiums across the country. If you have time to do that, get out and explore and see Kansas City, especially if it's, your first time, like really getting to see where, we're kind of the epicenter of the country, and, pretty much equal distance from East Coast and West Coast and North and South. And so getting to see why Kansas City has such a rich history in agriculture.
I'm also a big fan of the coffee shops, and everyone will need their caffeine during the show weeks. And so there's lots of good coffee shops downtown or even around here by the grounds. So definitely check those out. Get to those.
Oh, I will definitely. I am definitely a coffee person. So what do you recommend there for coffee?
That is a good question. Recently, I've been into Messenger Coffee, which is downtown, but I actually got some recommendations about some place called Java in the West Bottoms. Coffee, I don't really know. Something like that, but I've heard it's really good. So maybe check them out.
I will for sure. That's awesome. So I know the registration deadline is coming up. Can you give us those details, and where can exhibitors go to enter the show, and what do they need to know to get registered online?
Yeah, so September 10th is our early entry deadline. We do take up until the 15th with a late fee. We really encourage everyone to get them done as early as they can. But as always, most of our information and up-to-date things you find on any of our social media channels. We also have a Facebook page directly towards our livestock exhibitors, as well as just the American Royals website. There is a fall livestock show and kind of promoting ahead, but our spring livestock show is all of our rules and regulations will be on there. And that's where you can go to get entered and signed up.
Wonderful. That's great. And then what about, how can our listeners, whether they're businesses or individuals, I know there's a lot of companies that love to support this type of thing. Are there sponsorship or even volunteer opportunities available?
Yeah, I mean, we're always looking for new volunteers and folks that are wanting to come give us some of their time. I think that's probably the most valuable resource that we can ever have, is just their time and willingness to help out. And then we do have a sponsorship team and a partnership team that is always looking for people interested in supporting from that financial aspect. And, the American Royal is a nonprofit. And so everything we do is just to give back to scholarships and other educational activities. So any bit of support, whether it's financial, time, or being down here and actually getting your hands dirty is always welcomed and appreciated.
Yeah, awesome. So last question for each of you. What drives your passion for the livestock industry and for serving the American Royal?
I think growing up, not really knowing or being like much in the ag world and then kind of getting into it, I just love getting to educate the youth and getting the word out about agriculture. I think it's so necessary that the coming generations continue to know more about it. And so that definitely drives my passion to be here today and just continue to get kids involved and learn discipline and learn what hard work looks like, and also so they can find their passion in agriculture.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I also came from a non-farming family and I had an uncle who had a farm. So I agree. And I devoted my entire life to agriculture. I just love hearing about youth deciding to get into agriculture because it's such a rewarding field. It's such a rewarding industry because, it's pretty important. Everybody's got to eat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that was what I was just going to say is it's watching the new exhibitors for me. We get hundreds of phone calls a week, and to be honest, my favorite thing is when an exhibitor, a mom or a dad, will tell me, "Well, we've never been to the American Royal before, but this is our first year." It's just that passion that people have, and when they call with questions and they think they might be silly, but we're happy to help them out, and it's the folks that it's their first year or their 10th year or their 25th year of coming to the American Royal. It's that long-standing history and tradition we always talk about that really kind of helps get me going in the morning and wanting to come down and do it day in and day out.
Yeah, that's awesome. Love it. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Good to see you again, Matt and Mae. I can't wait to see you all when we are all in Kansas City next month.
Yeah, look forward to it.
Yeah, well, we'll be excited for you to be here and not only for the livestock show, but also for the World Series of Barbecue.
Yeah. And thanks to all who are watching or listening. If you want to learn more or to register for the Fall Livestock Show, the links are provided in the show notes. And don't forget to subscribe to North American Ag Spotlight on YouTube, Rumble, Telegram, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Listen Notes, really wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you enjoyed this episode, I would love it if you shared it. And have a great day.